Welcome to another deep dive.
Hey there.
Today, we're unpacking a highly anticipated boxing clash. It's really got the fight world buzzing.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Shakur Stevenson versus William Cepeda.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Two undefeated southpaws set to collide this Saturday, July 12th.
In Queens, New York. Should be electric.
And we've got a whole stack of, analyses, predictions, tactical thoughts you sent in.
Lots to dig into.
So our mission, as always, is to sort of distill the most important stuff from all that.
Give you that shortcut, right?
Yeah.
To really get what makes this fight so interesting.
Okay, let's unpack this thing.
Yeah, and look, this isn't just another bout, right? It's a championship fight.
WBC lightweight title on the line.
And you've got two young, hungry guys right in their physical prime.
What really jumps out, though, is the styles. They're just poles apart.
Absolutely. Which, honestly, that almost guarantees a tactical chess match, not just a brawl.
So we're going to explore what each fighter brings.
The unique pressures, the challenges they face.
And ultimately, what the experts are thinking, what they're predicting for fight night.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's start with the champ, Shakur Stevenson. Perfect record, 23-0, 11 KOs.
Yeah, and the sources we looked at, they consistently call him like a boxing master.
So what really defines his style? Why is he seen as such a defensive genius?
Well, Stevenson is, first and foremost, just exceptional defensively.
Okay.
His whole game plan, it's built on that defense. His ring IQ, which is just off the charts, and controlling the fight completely.
And his footwork.
People call it impeccable. Allows him to just shuffle out of range or, pivot for better angles almost instantly.
Right.
He's brilliant at making guys miss by inches and then making them pay. Sharp counters.
So he's always thinking ahead.
Always one step ahead, yeah. Very calm, dictates the pace. But, the big question is, how does that defensive skill translate into offense?
Okay, yeah, because that's where it gets really interesting. Our sources note he's not really known as this huge knockout artist.
No, not a one-punch guy.
But he's a sharp puncher. Incredible timing, great precision.
Right.
And he's got the best plus-minuses ratings in boxing, which basically means he lands way more than he takes.
A lot more.
And opponents land the fewest punches against him, like 5.4 per round. That's incredible.
It's ridiculously low. It shows how hard he is to hit cleanly.
So what does that feel like for an opponent? It's not just winning rounds. It's like he's taking apart their whole offense.
Exactly. Systematically dismantling them.
His punch selection is mentioned a lot, too. That's southpaw jab to control things.
And those lightning-quick straight lefts, body or head. Very accurate.
Yeah, the sources say he prefers landing like 2 or 3 clean shots instead of just winging wild punches.
Quality over quantity, for sure. Precision striking.
Okay, but then you flip the coin. William Cepeda.
The challenger.
Also undefeated, 33-0, but with 27 KOs. His style couldn't be more different.
Diametrically opposed, yeah. Cepeda is known as one of the lightweight division's most relentless pressure fighters.
Relentless is the word.
He's got that all-action style. He routinely throws over 1,000 punches in a fight.
1,000 punches, that's hard to even picture.
Remember 2022? He set a CompuBox record. Threw 1,536 punches in 12 rounds.
Good grief. Imagine dealing with that for 36 minutes.
It's like facing a storm you can't get out of, but what makes him really unique, he combines that insane volume with real power.
Okay, that's the key part.
Yeah, he puts mean intentions, as one source said, into almost every shot. A lot of guys are volume or power.
Right, you choose one usually.
But Cepeda manages both. And that's what makes him such a nightmare. It's not just tiring, it's hurtful. It breaks guys down physically and mentally, too.
So it's power volume punching. That is rare.
Very.
But, volume and power, does that sometimes mean less defense or alert efficiency? What are his signature moves?
Well, he's always stepping forward, right? Hard single southpaw jabs to get in.
It's like a net up?
Then once he's in range, boom. 4, 5 punch combinations, hooks, uppercuts, and loads of ripping body shots.
Ah, the body work. That's a trademark.
Definitely. Forces opponents to drop their guard, opens things up upstairs. He might not knock you out with one shot,
Right.
but those continuous hurtful punches just wear you down. It sets up that classic, bull versus matador dynamic.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay, let's talk pressure, because the analyses we read really highlight a lot of external pressure on Stevenson for this one.
Yeah, there's a sense he needs to make a statement.
Why is that expectation so high for Shakur right now?
Well, a few things. First, People feel it's been a little while, as one source put it, since we saw peak vintage Shakur.
Okay.
Like, the Yoshino fight was good, but maybe Yoshino wasn't given enough credit. People point back to the Herring fight, the Valdez fight.
Where he dominated, dropped Valdez, made a unification look easy.
Exactly. That's the standard people hold him to.
And the second thing.
Then there's the whole Floyd-Schofield situation. Remember, Schofield pulled out of their fight back in February.
Yeah, that caused a stir.
Well, Schofield just had a career best win against Tevin Farmer.
Okay, and Farmer is relevant because...
Because Farmer gave Cepeda real trouble in 2 fights. Very close fights.
the triangle theory. Connect the dots.
Exactly. Triangle theories, they don't always work in boxing, but it adds pressure on Shakur to look really good against Cepeda, especially since Schofield might be next.
Right.
Plus, you've got Tcheki Alelshik, who's a huge force in boxing now, pushing for more action fights. He even had the ring size reduced for this card.
To 18 by 18 feet.
Yeah, specifically to discourage too much running or excessive movement. They want engagement.
So it's like everything is pushing him towards a dominant win, maybe even a KO.
Pretty much.
But what about those hand injuries? The sources mentioned recurring issues, sometimes calling them pillow hands.
That is a big question mark. It really is.
How might that affect his ability to deliver that statement performance?
Well, if his hands don't hold up, some analysts predict he might be forced to just, run around the ring, avoid the exchanges.
Which could lead to
a boring running match, as some put it. Kind of like the Edwin De Los Santos fight. Remember that one? Neither guy landed much.
Yeah, that wasn't exactly thrilling.
Right. And it feeds into this criticism you sometimes hear that maybe he's more of a good amateur than a great pro because of those light shots and maybe some cautious matchmaking since he moved up to lightweight.
Okay, so real physical questions there. What about Cepeda? What are the challenges he's facing against Shakur's unique style?
Well, despite that amazing record, those 2 Tevin Farmer fights, they loom a bit.
Because they were so close.
Extremely close, yeah. Competitive. Farmer even knocked Cepeda down in one of them.
Wow, okay.
Cepeda won both, but for some people, those fights put a bit of a cloud over him. It showed an intelligent boxer can time him coming in.
They can find openings.
Exactly. So the challenge for Cepeda now is navigating Stevenson's precision, which is just surgical. And that ring IQ, it's levels above Farmer or, say, Jojo Diaz.
So the big question for Cepeda is, can he actually force Shakur out of that defensive shell, out of his comfort zone?
That's the million-dollar question for Cepeda, absolutely.
Which leads us nicely into the tactics. This
Yeah.
is where it gets fascinating, like you said, a chess match.
Yeah.
So for Shakur Stevenson, what's his clearest path to victory against this volume machine?
For Stevenson, it's all about controlling distance and pace, number 1.
Using that footwork.
Superior footwork, yeah. And that probing jab. Create a barrier, make Cepeda reach, make him fall short.
And movement.
Constant lateral movement, circling, pivoting. He absolutely cannot let Cepeda set his feet and just unload.
And when Cepeda does lunge in,
Make him pay. Precise counters. Check right hook, maybe roll under, and land a counter left. Punish the mistakes.
bodywork important for Shakur too.
Critical.
Yeah.
Zepeda's high guard leaves openings downstairs. Shakur showed elite body punching against Joff Padley. He needs that here.
So the goal is systematic breakdown. Pick him apart, minimize damage coming back, make it his kind of fight.
A measured tactical contest. Exactly. He has to impose his style.
So basically channel that vintage Shakur we talked about. Dominant outboxing guys, breaking them down with clean, hurtful shots.
Yes, almost like that Southpaw Floyd Mayweather comparison you hear sometimes with those subtle half steps controlling everything.
Yeah.
But maybe with a bit more offensive intent at times.
Right, okay. So not just defense, but sharp offense built off it.
Precisely. He needs to dictate without being reckless. Hurt Cepeda consistently without getting dragged into a brawl.
Okay, now for William Cepeda, how does he crack this defensive code? How does he make it his fight?
Zepeda's path is it's pretty clear, really. Relentless pressure. Overwhelming volume. Right from the opening bell.
No waiting around.
No. He has to force Shakur into exchanges, close the distance, make him uncomfortable, and crucially, cut off the ring.
Trap him.
Trap him. Don't let him glide away. Maybe even, take a shot to land one or to trap him like he did against Maxie Hughes sometimes.
Willing to absorb something to gain position.
Exactly. And body shots, body shots, body shots. That's his best friend against a mover like Shakur.
Force those elbows down. Create openings up top.
You got it. And consistency is everything. He cannot afford lulls. He needs that high work rate round after round for all 12.
Wear him down mentally and physically.
Make him tired. It has to be a high-pressure dogfight, as the sources say. That's Zepeda's only real path.
Wow. Okay, so after unpacking all that, the styles, the pressures, the tactics, what are the experts actually predicting? How does this thing play out on July 12th, according to them? Well, the consensus, looking across the analyses, is that Shakur Stevenson is the favorite, the clear favorite.
Despite Zepeda's record and power.
Yeah, I mean, Cepeda gets a ton of respect. He's seen as a very good fighter,
Yeah.
top 10 lightweight by a country mile, no doubt.
Wow.
But most predict Stevenson wins. Probably a clear, decisive 12-round decision.
Any chance of a stoppage?
Some mention a late stoppage, maybe, if Shakur really finds his gear, if he brings Cepeda down systematically over the rounds.
Okay. And if Stevenson does win, and wins impressively, like that Valdez fight.
Oh, that would be huge. A real statement
That's-
victory. Reinforces pound-for-pound status.
Absolutely. And it sets up those big future fights, especially that potential clash with Floyd Schofield everyone's talking about.
But if he doesn't deliver, if it's close or messy, or, God forbid, he loses.
Then the consensus is it would be bad for his career. Really bad. Especially with all the talk, all the expectations. The pressure is immense.
Right. And what about Cepeda? What does this fight mean for him, win or lose?
For Cepeda, honestly, even if he loses to a guy like Stevenson, the feeling is it wouldn't really hurt his standing much.
Really?
Yeah, this is seen as his toughest test by far. Just putting up a good competitive fight against someone of Shakur's talent, that would likely enhance his reputation, even in defeat.
So it's a chance to prove he belongs at the absolute elite level.
Exactly. Win or lose, it's a measuring stick for him.
Okay, what a deep dive. This really sets the stage for what sounds like a genuinely captivating chess match.
It really does.
You've got the picture now. Stevenson's defensive brilliance, his tactical mind.
Against Zepeda's just relentless, powerful volume.
It's that classic bull versus matador.
But with that southpaw versus southpaw angle, which just adds another fascinating layer of complexity, doesn't it?
It really does. How do those jabs interact? How do the power hands line up?
Yeah, it's a fight where both guys are going to be pushed right to their limits. Their styles could bring out the absolute best in each other.
Or expose something we haven't seen before.
Exactly. It really highlights just how critical those strategic adjustments are, that ring IQ at this elite level.
So what does this all mean for you, the fight fan, looking ahead? Will Stevenson deliver that statement performance people want? Will we see vintage Shakur?
Or can Zepeda's pressure cooker style force Stevenson into deep waters? Maybe uncover a weakness we didn't know was there.
Definitely something to chew on as you wait for July 12th. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.